Hello everyone and welcome back to a new reading vlog. My name is Mel and today is just kind of a fun trip that we're doing. David and I decided a couple of months ago, we found rooms really cheap and we decided to come out to the beach just for a couple of days just to have a good time, and I was planning to get some of my fantasy done, and then I thought, why not read a water horror at the beach? I just feel like water horror and the beach go beautifully together, and so that's what I'm gonna do. I have read a water horror in the past. It was just one, and I really enjoyed it. It was Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. Really love the concept of that one, and even though in the moment it was not like a super favorite, I've just thought about it ever since, and so I'm really looking for something kind of along those lines to read today because I feel like I'm not getting enough of it. Cassidy just recently read From Below by Darcy Coates, as well as Kaylee, and both of them have been raving about how much they enjoyed it, so I think now is that time. From what I know about, I think From Below is about a team that decides to go explore this shipwreck for a documentary, and things start to go very wrong very quickly. I think we have present and past timelines, the previous 19 something or another timeline and then the current timeline, so we can kind of see jointly how things started to go wrong on both counts. And I think it's going to be creepy. I think it's going to be more paranormal, whereas the Mira Grant one was more, not creature feature, but did involve like killer mermaids. So I'm curious to see how that plays out, and I'm really excited. So I hope you guys enjoy this beach trip with me. I apologize in advance if a lot of the clips are super noisy because they'll probably be by the ocean or the pool or something that does involve a lot of noise. So I'll try to cut out as much of that as I can, but I'm excited. Let's go see if I can scare the absolute hell out of myself at the beach reading a water horror. It's probably going to be super noisy, but I just wanted to show you guys the view from our room. Like, look at that. We don't have a direct view of the ocean, but that's okay because like, it's so pretty, and there's nobody here this week. Normally when we come, it's pseudo crowded, but I mean, we have walked straight into restaurants. We've been able to just kind of pick our place on the sand. It's been great. So yeah, this is our view. Okay guys, so I am about 15% into From Below by Darcy Coates, and I am loving it so far. We are following this documentary crew that has decided to go down and explore the depths of the Arcadia, which sunk in 1928. And those parts so far have been good and interesting, but what I'm really finding interesting is the 1928 point of view with the Arcadia. And that was just creepy. We have not gotten much of it yet, but loving every second of it. This is exactly what I wanted after having read Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant so long ago, and just kind of looking for something like that ever since. I'm absolutely adoring this. Hopefully you can hear me because we are at the beach, and I just figured that a creepy ocean horror would be a great option while I was at the beach, and so far it was a great option. So probably here in the next 20 to 30 minutes, we're going to go get some lunch, and I'll take you guys with us, and then I'll update you more when I know more. I thought out here would be a better place to do a vlog clip than inside, but apparently there's some really noisy stuff, so bear with me. Hopefully you can hear me. If not, you'll never see this vlog clip. But I'm about 35-ish% into From Below, and I'm absolutely loving it so far. It's just got vibes that are so creepy, but not done in a way that's, I don't know, it's just, the build-up is spectacular. There was a particular scene where it was just so creepy, and I love that she actually explained the science behind that scene rather than just saying, well, this happened, creepy vibes, okay, see ya, but that would never actually happen in real life. I love that she explained it all. I'm enjoying just the atmosphere overall. The characters themselves, kind of irritating, not gonna lie. There's been a couple of little moments where I'm like, I really hope that that circles back around and becomes important, because if it doesn't, I'm not going to love that about it. But we've still got plenty of time, and I am so excited to continue reading. Probably going to put it down for the rest of the night though, because we are about to head out to dinner, which is why my hair is actually fixed and there is makeup on. We've got a couple of friends that moved about 3 years ago to a place about an hour from where we came. So we're gonna go meet them, eat dinner, chat for a little while, and then I will probably pick up From Below tonight first thing in the morning, and I have no plans tomorrow except for to read my book and eat a lot of food. So I feel like we can do both of those pretty successfully tomorrow. So it's way too loud out here. I'm gonna go, but if we get anything good, I will video it for you guys. Hey friends, so I decided I would finally do an update inside so that you guys could actually hear me. We are on day 3 of this trip so far. Last night was really fun. I didn't get any footage, but we had some friends that lived locally with us for a bunch of years, and then they actually moved down south to the beach about 3 years ago, and I haven't seen them since they moved. David's seen them a time or two, but I had not seen them at all, and so it was really nice to just spend the evening catching up, eating some good food. We had a great time, and they have a dog that is a Great Pyrenees Collie mix, and that thing was as big as I am. I wish I'd gotten some footage of her because she was just absolutely precious. But anyway, what you guys came here for, From Below. I'm about 65% of the way through From Below so far, and I'm still really enjoying it, but I do feel like my hype train is kind of going down just a little. This is a 470-page horror, and in a very rare cases do I ever think that a horror book needs to be 470 pages long. Most of the time my sweet spot for horror is going to be 300 to 400, just because when you have a book that relies on tension and kind of just things being overall creepy, when you draw it out for that long, you do sometimes tend to lose some of that tension and that creepiness. However, there's a fine line between making it too long and making things kind of monotonous and repetitive to the point where they lose that, and not giving it enough lead up time to make it really feel super creepy and engaged. So far, Darcy Coates is managing that line pretty well, but I just know that I've still got 150, 200 pages to go, and I really feel like we should be starting to hit the peak moment now, and that's a lot of pages left, so I'm just really concerned that her towing that line is going to lean a bit on the too long side. There have just been a couple of little bitty things that I feel like really could have probably been done slightly different. There was a solar flare at the beginning of the book that knocked out, and this was in the first chapter, so it's not a spoiler, knocked out all of their drones and their comms and everything, making it to where they had to physically go do the dive themselves. And I feel like if we don't loop that back around a little bit, it was just a plot device to make them have to go down themselves rather than sending drones, and you could have done that a million different ways. I feel like that didn't just seem like a plot device, so it's just been little bitty things like that. However, this is still looking like a 4-star read. I'm still really enjoying it. I'm just past the novelty of the super hype, and so I am finding some problems now, but I'm still having a great time. I feel like in the beginning of the book, I was really, really interested in the 1928 timeline. I thought that was super creepy. It was really engaging. Now, the further the book has gone on, I'm starting to swap those a little bit, where I'm much more interested in the present timeline and Cove and her team and kind of how that third dive, because I've heard the third dive is the creepiest part, is going to go. I do feel like the 1928 timeline almost tried to do too much, and it became a point where I was like, okay, we're doing this again, kind of thing. I also felt like the narrator that she chose from the 1928 timeline did present things in a very standoffish kind of way, whereas I did not feel that sense of dread. I didn't feel the sense of foreboding, the sense of panic that should have been coming from all of the events. He almost seemed a little too matter-of-fact about it, and that took away some of that heart-pounding, like, oh my goodness, what is happening on this ship kind of moment. So anyway, still really enjoying it. Those are most of my nitpickies I decided to get out all in this one clip, but I do think that this is probably going to be a 4-star read for me. I'm having a great time. I'm going to go, David's got some homework that he's got to work on, so I'm going to go sit down probably by the pool with him and see if we can't knock the rest of this baby out. Alright guys, so we are getting ready for our final dinner here at the beach. David is big sad. He does not want to go home. But with that comes me finishing From Below by Darcy Coates. And I ended up giving this one, I think it's going to be a low 4-star. Overall, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought that the tension was spot on. The atmosphere was amazing. I liked that the author tended to try to make sure there was some science behind a lot of the things that she was trying to pull off, and I appreciated that. A lot of people say that the beginning of this one is boring. For me, it wasn't. It was just amping up that tension in a very slow-paced way, but a way that worked for me, which also, again, lended to it feeling a little bit too long, like we discussed before. Fortunately, some of the things that I had problems with in the beginning that I was like, if this doesn't circle back around, I'm not going to be a fan, did circle back around, so that was good. There was one particular thing that I feel like she tried to add in, which was trying to be very, very vague. A box. If you've read it, you know. But the box, I did not like. I felt like it was purely a plot device to get a character to do something that would then entice further events. But those events could have and would have happened regardless of that being there, and it did not have any further point on the plot than that one conversation. It was never brought back up again, so I really did not like that. It made no sense, and it was completely out of context of the story. It was almost like the author was trying to give you a real-world explanation when she never intended there to be one in the first place. I don't know, I didn't love that part. So, kind of a spoiler, not really, but if you know anything about Darcy Coates, you already know this, but if you don't want to know anything about Darcy Coates, maybe skip ahead like 10 seconds, but Darcy Coates always has hopeful endings, and so I had a pretty sneaky suspicion that everybody was going to come out just fine, and because of that, that did amp down the tension a little bit in the last scene. So overall, I think I am going to give this one a 4-star. Little moments here and there that I was not a huge fan of, but for the most part, I thought that it was absolutely great. And I would highly, highly, highly recommend it to fans of water horror or slow burn tension building horror. I think this one would really, really work for you. It did definitely amp up toward the end, lots and lots of action, but I just loved the atmosphere. And then that big payoff was just all the more sweet. So anyway, we're going to go to dinner. We're going to have a great time. I'm going to sign off from you guys, but I hope you enjoyed this little impromptu vlog reading a water horror at the beach, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.